Well, good Tuesday morning. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I bet a lot of you in our immediate area were woke up by that crazy alert that went off early this morning, alerting you to the possibility of flooding in your area. So, if you're in our immediate Missouri, Illinois area, just know you could have some problems as you're heading out this morning on your drive, getting to the polls for Election Day. The polls have now officially been open for 1 hour and they remain open until 7 o'clock tonight. As long as you're in line, you can vote. So even if you're in line at 7 p.m. and there's a long line that goes for an hour or more, they will let you vote. So a lot of you, maybe thousands upon thousands of you, have already done the early voting. If not, today is the day. We'll talk a little bit about Election Day coming up. We'll also give you the latest on the strike with Boeing. We've got an update for you as well on Peanut the squirrel. Do you remember the interview that we did with him back in January? His owner, Mark, and we had Peanut as well, and then Mark's wife, Danny. They've been all over the news over the last several days. You've heard Elon Musk talk about them, Joe Rogan show, TMZ, national news, even former President Donald Trump talking about them. Cannot believe what happened to Peanut the squirrel. If you haven't heard about that, we'll update you on that and do some sports news as well. But weather and traffic, definitely the top news stories in our immediate area. If you're outside of Missouri and Illinois, just stay with me. We've got a really cool show on tap for you as we talk about cooking with a movie. But this is an opportunity for you to go out and have multiple courses, all themed to specific aspects of an iconic film. And this time it's Gremlins. We'll talk about all of that coming up for you this morning. Let's start things off, though, with our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, and a segment we call What the Weather.
Alrighty, welcome back into this new more weather forecast video. This one has been looking significant for a couple of days. So
good morning to you.
Good morning, Monica.
Finally.
Nice to be here.
Well, let's say good morning to him on this election day, and his set is set up so beautifully. Good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day to you. I love the bunting, love the patriotism of the flag. Yes, the biggest thing we're talking about today, Beckett, is people going to the polls. And some of the polling places actually delayed opening because of flooding issues. Some of them even closed down and having to kind of reroute them to another polling place. So that could create a problem. If they are heading to the polls this morning, how long will they need those umbrellas?
Yeah, so if you're heading to the polls right now through noon and really through around 3 to 4 o'clock, you're going to need those umbrellas. If you head late, at around 5 to 7, those last couple of hours you can vote, then maybe I think that's when the rain will calm down. But pretty much all today it's going to be raining. And again, like you mentioned, we've had those flooding problems as well.
Yeah, the flooding's been bad. I talked about how weather and traffic are really taking the top news from our immediate area. 44 had issues being shut down westbound right around Antire and Lewis. 55 northbound right around Rivas Barracks. A lot of side roads and a lot of standing water. How much water have we had in the last couple of days that's caused that kind of flooding?
Yeah, so we've had almost 4 inches at Lambert International, which is actually a record. And in places like U-City, we've had almost 6 inches. Other places getting up even higher than that. So a lot of rain this last day. Over this 24-hour period, it's been pretty incredible.
Well, again, all of you that are just tuning in, don't take this lightly. Just be aware and keep an eye to our show as well as Beckett. Always make sure to follow him on X and on YouTube as he gives you the latest on any flooding issues. But we're talking about cars that were covered and then some water rescues they had to do early this morning. All right, so hopefully some of that is subsiding. Still could be a rough commute for you this morning. Let's find out what the rest of the day and the rest of the week is going to look like with Beckett.
Yeah, so this morning we've got 64 and rainy. Again, we're going to see that rain this morning and through the afternoon, ending late afternoon into the early evening. Afternoon, again, like I just said, rain is expected to persist with a high today around 65, maybe around 66. Now, this is from the National Weather Service here in St. Louis. Not only was it recorded a record daily maximum rainfall of 3.75 inches set at St. Louis Lambert International Airport yesterday, November 4th, but this is also the highest amount of rainfall in a 24-hour period for the month of November ever. The previous record was around 3.5 inches set on November 18th, 19 21. So we're breaking a record that is 100 years old. Pretty incredible. We have had a lot of rain for sure this last 24 hours. Now, for your 7-day forecast, 66 again as our high today, rain persisting throughout much of the day for your election day as you head to the polls. Again, like we mentioned, carry an umbrella with you. 49 degrees as our low tonight. That rain gets out of here as we head towards tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies, dipping down to 62 as our high. Around the same, 61 as our high on Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Some more cloud cover and rain coming back in as we head towards Friday and Saturday with a 70% chance of rain on Saturday, and then looking nice as we head towards Monday with sunny skies for your Veterans Day, but I do expect a big cool down as we head towards next week, but I'll have more details on that as we head towards Friday and Monday.
Well, Beckett, I'm going to miss you. A lot of you know that I'm going on a business trip to Italy on Thursday. I'll send you some pictures from Italy and look forward to checking in with you probably the week of the 18th. If you're available on Tuesday the 18th, I think that'll be the next day that I'll be on where you and I can be together.
Sounds good. Have fun.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, that's aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. Again, we're talking about flooding issues and heavy rain as you're heading out this morning. In fact, I do want to let you know, for those of you that might take Metro bus here in our immediate area impacted by flooding, as of about an hour ago, there were many routes that were without service. Shaw, Cherokee, Oakville, Chippewa, the number 21 Watson Road, number 30 Arsenal, 31 Choteau, 49 Lindbergh, the 56 route Kirkwood Webster, number 57 Manchester, Grand is number 70, 73 Carondelet, and the 98 Ballas North Hanley. A lot affected by the flooding. So I'm telling you that, again, don't take this lightly. Customers on those routes are encouraged to find an alternative mode of transportation. You can also go to Metro's website as the situation changes, and obviously a lot of that water does come down. But as I mentioned, it is election day, so many people going to the polls. There are schools that are closed today because maybe those schools are being used as polling places. So the one thing I'm hoping is that less people will be actually on the roads. Maybe that will help us, even though there were a lot of accidents already this morning. It has arrived, and it is time for you to vote. Tens of millions of Americans have already cast their ballots in the early voting. Those include record numbers, in fact, in Georgia, North Carolina, and other battleground states that could decide the winner. As of yesterday, Associated Press tracking of advanced voting nationwide showed roughly 82 million ballots have already been cast. That's slightly more than half the total number of votes in the presidential election 4 years earlier. Obviously, this is a big one, and this could be one of the closest that we've seen maybe ever in the history of voting. All the polls are showing that Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are neck and neck, which again is why it is imperative that you get out and exercise your right to vote. For President and Vice President, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz. You will find a couple of others on there, though, Chase Oliver and Mike Termat and Jill Stein and Rudolph Ware. You'll see those names on there as well. And of course, you have a write-in. Some people say that they don't think either one of them should be in, and they write in themselves. All right, well, let's try to get the right person in office, and all we can hope for is that we don't have the division that we've seen in our country, right? We've just got to find some peace. That was my word of the day, finding some calmness and finding some peace. The same applies, though, with all of those political ads you've been seeing. Run for United States Senator Josh Hawley up against Louis Kuntz. For Governor, Mike Kehoe against Crystal Quaid. For Lieutenant Governor, Dave Wassinger, Richard Brown. There's also Secretary of State and State Treasurer. This is a long ballot, by the way. A lot of people are talking about how long it is in Missouri. I, in fact, talked with our director, Zach, and he's like, oh, I've been hearing about that. They live on the Illinois side. And yes, it is long. A lot of it is, though, you waiting in line to get to vote. And then this, if you had your sample ballot, that hopefully it would go a little bit faster. Some of the big things as far as the constitutional amendments that you're going to find on the ballots. Constitutional Amendment number 2. Do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to allow the Missouri Gaming Commission to regulate licensed sports wagering, including online sports betting, gambling boats, professional sports betting districts, and mobile licenses to sports betting operators? restricting sports betting to individuals physically located in the state and over the age of 21. That's amendment number 2. Amendment number 3, do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to establish a right to make decisions about reproductive health care? This is, again, including abortion, excuse me, and contraceptives. Amendment number 5 and 6. I know a lot of people have talked about when they see judges on the voting ballot, whether or not they know whether to continue their terms or not. And that is one of the biggest things I saw recently in the news, that people say that they don't know enough about the judges as to whether to keep them in or not. Either way, I hope you have prepared yourself as you get ready to go to the polls, or you can let us know if you voted already. Tell us how long the lines were. I know a lot of people were talking about rain. Linda says, Monica, your voice sounds a bit better, but still take care. I know, I want to be well for Italy. It's going out on me a little bit. Good morning to all of you. Kathleen said our rain gauge is showing 8 inches so far. So yes, the rain and going to the polls, the big stories of the day. The other, though, has to do with Boeing. Boeing factory workers have finally voted to accept the contract offer. Now, this has been ongoing for 7 weeks now. It ended a strike and will return to work as soon as Wednesday or by November 12th at the latest. The new contract includes pay raises of 38% over 4 years, as well as ratification and productivity bonuses. It does not restore a company pension plan, though. That was one of the biggest issues. The pension plan that was frozen nearly a decade ago. The average annual pay of Boeing machinists will rise from $75,608 to $119,309 under the new contract. So again, good news for Boeing and honestly for the world. Now, let's talk about Peanut the squirrel. Do you remember our interview back in January with Mark Longo? We introduced you to Mark and his wife, Danny, and Peanut and all of the other animals on the Peanut's Freedom Farm. Now, this is in New York. If you haven't seen the story, back Wednesday, Thursday last week, I saw on his page that in New York, the DEC came in and seized things from their house and took the squirrel and a raccoon. So Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. They were unsure at the time, but they had heard that they were going to be euthanized. They were waiting and then unfortunately made the breaking news story and emotional response saying that they had found out that Peanut and Fred were in fact euthanized. There are stories saying that the worker believed that somebody was bit by Peanut. They said that is not true. They were talking about rabies. Again, Mark and Danny have had that squirrel for over 7 years. If there was an issue, then obviously they would have been showing signs of having rabies. So this is definitely something that the entire world is talking about. President Trump talked about it. Elon Musk. I believe they were showing TMZ, several national news stories. I don't know if Joe Rogan had talked about it, but again, he was providing so much fun. The main thing, the reason, look at the squirrel. Amazing. He started this on his pages just to get some excitement, people to follow, and to raise money, because each day he would go on live and people would donate so they could take care of these rescue animals, over 300 of them. Again, can you imagine someone coming into your home and taking your animals? Because that was like a pet. Now, they said in New York, you're not allowed to have a wild animal as a pet. They didn't have to put the squirrel down. This is the biggest thing. So now they're talking about a lawsuit. So now a lot of the funding is to fund a lawsuit to be able to, again, bring justice to this. So there's the call for justice for Peanut the squirrel and NYSDEC reform. So they actually changed the goal. It was at 150, knowing that people, 150,000, knowing that people are coming out in droves. I think it's up to beyond 200,000 now. And I love the fact that it keeps getting higher and higher and higher. All of the money, if they do have a lawsuit, I heard Mark on one of his lives the other day come out and say all of the money will go continuing the Freedom Farm, which again was started in Peanut's name. So Longo and his wife, Danny, opened Peanut's Freedom Farm Animal Sanctuary in April of 2023, again housing about 300 animals, including horses, goats, alpacas, They were in the process of filing paperwork to get Peanut certified as an educational animal when he was seized. Seized and euthanized. This is not okay. So feel free to drop in any comments that you want. But more importantly, go to the link that we're putting in the comments so that you can help out Mark and his wife, Danny. Again, they are mourning in such, it's just, again, you have to imagine someone coming in and taking your cat or taking your dog. That was a part of their family and just unheard of. And again, not sure who was the one that called the DEC, who had a vendetta against them and why. That's still to try to be figured out. But all I can say is that, Mark, we're here for you. I've reached out to him, and I know that he's kind of just pulled away from a lot of the media attention because there was so much that came at him quick. I'm so very sorry. Our friend, again, back in our time of January is when we did the interview with him, just to bring attention to the great things they were doing and just how hilarious those videos were. So our thoughts and prayers going out to you. Our thoughts and prayers also going out to the family of Quincy Jones. I posted this on my page yesterday when I wasn't able to come on to you because I didn't have a voice yesterday. Quincy Jones, one of the most iconic people in our time as far as music, multi-talented music titan whose vast legacy ranged from producing Michael Jackson's historic Thriller album to writing prize-winning film and TV scores, collaborating with Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, hundreds of other artists. He died at the age of 91, and throughout his career, spanning over 75 years, he won 28 Grammy Awards, the second most ever. And as I mentioned, I don't know that we can say that there was another person in our time that is that type of an icon. Quincy Jones, rest in peace. In sports news, the Kansas City Chiefs still undefeated. Did you watch the game last night? How about those Chiefs? They continue their unbeaten start. They win in overtime against Tampa Bay 30-24. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes shook off a late injury scare as he threw for 291 yards, 3 touchdowns without an interception. He downplayed his ankle injury after the game, saying he expected to be ready when the 8-0 Chiefs host Denver, and that is coming up on Sunday. If you're a hockey fan, the Blues, by the way, are in action tonight against Tampa Bay. That game is at 7 p.m. All right, now you're all up to date. I'll look at any of the comments that you have. Feel free to drop in any questions, and let's have some fun now. We're going to talk with Chef Liz Schuster. Chef Liz is with Tenacious Eats. First, we're going to take you back to how Tenacious Eats ever started. Then we're going to talk about what's coming up for you this, let's see, is it this coming weekend? Yes, this coming weekend. So the 15th and 16th, but one of the days is already sold out. However, we've got some tickets for you. 2 lucky people will be able to go and see Gremlins. But for the lot of you, you'll be like, have you ever seen Gremlins before? If you haven't, you've been living under a rock. If you have, it's a chance for you to see it all over again, but to have multiple courses paired with the movie. And we're going to have one of those courses in studio with us. We'll sample that as it oozes out with Chef Liz Schuster. She'll be in the blue chair when we return.
Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant.
There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map.
Does it scare you? You go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come.
We're going to spank. We're going to speak. We're not going to spank anybody. We are going to speak about knowing your value. And then I'm going to
I'm going to spank them.
if you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm going to spank you. Folks, you never know what you're going to get with her. We're at the Vault Luxury Resale in Brentwood, and I think this is going to be a very dangerous shoot, Diana.
It'll be
She says
fabulous.
it is.
We do costume jewelry. It's everything women want. You know, sometimes I want to grab a Kendra Scott earring or
okay.
just a fun, untrend earring, but other times I want David Yurman, John Hardy, Tiffany. So we also have that.
Some beautiful costume jewelry, some really gorgeous high-end jewelry.
Yes. We have phenomenal cowboy boots. We have, you know, Paige, Mother, all designer denim.
Luxury resale, not at the luxury price.
We, you know, have every kind of high-end handbag.
Woo.
And everything from Bottega, Louis Vuitton, tons of Gucci, Chanel. We not only deal with people in St. Louis, we deal with, you know, a lot of people in New York, celebrities in New York, Nashville, Beverly Hills.
Monica or Ms. Adams. How's that
Yes,
sound?
that sounds great.
All right, one more designer area.
Look at these. These are Chanel, Jimmy Choo, Prada, Gucci. We have everything from Steve Madden boots to Chanel boots.
They're going to love what you come back with.
Yes.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and we've got something fun on tap for you today. We're going to talk about an iconic film with themed aspects of food. What? Have you ever been to this? I have in the past, and it is just so much fun. You'll sit back and go, oh my gosh, why didn't I know about this earlier? Now I want to go to another one. So we'll talk about some future things as well, but we're going to walk down memory lane of how this all came about with my friend, Chef Liz Schuster. I haven't seen you in a while with Tenacious Eats. How are you?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me, Monica. It's
Absolutely.
so good to see you.
It is so good to see
Yeah.
you as well. We've known each other for years. I wish it was scratch and sniff television because it smells amazing in here. Look at our set. All right, how many of you have not seen Gremlins? Now, this is going to be crazy if you say you haven't. If you haven't, then you really need to see the film. But most of you have. This is an iconic film from the 80s. But Liz does something where I'm thinking if any of you have never been to this, you've never experienced anything like this, where we break everything down in the film and then she pairs different aspects of the food with something that stands out in the film. Let's go all the way back, though, before we get into Gremlins. When did you start Tenacious Eats and how did the idea come about?
I started in 2012.
Okay.
That's when and I didn't call it Tenacious Eats. I didn't know what it was going to be. It was just really stuck in my head that it was something I had to do. Have you ever felt that creative
Sure.
need? I need to do this.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe no one's going to come. Maybe people are going to go, that's weird. But I was watching some very, very important food films. And I wanted to eat what I saw in the film. And it was a really fantastic Chinese film called Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. Huh. If you haven't seen it,
No.
it's food porn. You're sitting there salivating every scene and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to eat that. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go get Chinese food and I'm going to sit and eat this again. It didn't satiate what I wanted. I wanted what I saw
Right.
on the screen. So Tenacious Eats started just because a very selfish way. I wanted to eat what I saw in the film. I was lucky enough at the time, I was the executive chef of the Scottish Arms.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
So sad.
Yes.
Allie, who was the owner, had me doing special dinners every month. We'd do like a whiskey or a scotch or a beer dinner and all the paired foods. And I told him, I said, I really want to try this. And he's like, okay, love, whatever you want, and we did it in the dining room. We set up a screen. I wrote a menu for a film called Short Order. That's
Okay.
another fantastic food film. And
She's loading us up with some good ones.
I'll give you a whole list. Movies for foodies. And I mean, that's what we started calling it, movies for foodies. But then, when we did this, when we were serving people food that they saw in the movie, I saw people pick up their plates in the dark and lick their plates.
Seriously?
Yeah. And as a chef, I've never seen that. I have great pride, and confidence in my food. But I think it was how visceral it was and that they were in the dark. I thought, this is something special. Kat Neville was there that night, and I talked to Kat, and she kind of had this look like, okay, this is cool. Maybe you should explore this kind of thing. So
Interesting.
Yeah, so we did. I started my own business, started Tenacious Eats, but I made a mistake in showing these, films with subtitles, and maybe we had like a handful of people who actually came. So luckily enough, I teamed up with Julie Lally.
We love Julie.
Yeah, we love Julie.
We thank Julie for so many of these guests that we have.
You could thank Julie Lally
Yes.
because Julie Lally said, the genius she is, she said, people want to see cult films.
Yes.
They want to see movies that they already recognize,
Right.
that mean so much to them on an emotional level. So
Yeah, that familiarity, but then also like, okay, so again, if you're just tuning in, Chef Liz Schuster with Tenacious Eats, we're talking about Gremlins. Now, one of the nights is already sold out, correct?
November 16th is
So
sold out.
It went fast, and that's why you're like, let's do another one.
In 4 days, they sold out, and I'll be honest, I cried.
Did you?
It's been
Aw.
I took a little hiatus.
Yes.
I'm a research and development chef normally, so I was so excited post-COVID to do this again,
Yeah.
and that gratification of seeing everyone enjoy it. I'm so looking forward to this.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Now, I've had the pleasure of going, well, you did Dirty Dancing. I don't even know what year that was. You did Chocolat. That's the one that, I think I did
that.
Dirty Dancing before Jim and I got back together. I think so, because you started in 2012, and I think you may have done it. What was the very first one that you did back then?
Once I left Scottish
Yes.
Arms, we did a film called I Like Killing Flies. That was one that no one came to. It's a food documentary. You should see it. But it was kind of polarizing. Not a lot of people had seen that kind of indie, documentary about a chef in New York. So I think we did Gremlins.
You have already?
Yeah, we did it that first. I think that was one of our first holiday films.
Okay. And people are wanting that back, obviously, if it went that quick.
Yeah, but I changed the menu from the first time that we did show Gremlins. The only thing I haven't changed is my husband, Chef Steve, his amazing dessert has not changed for
That's
this
got to
showing.
stay the same. We're going to run down the menu, by the way. If you're just tuning in, Hannah's going to drop in everything you need to know about how you can get tickets. Again, one of the nights already sold out, but Julie gave us 2 tickets for someone to join us. So we're going to ask a question in a little bit to get 2 of you there. Again, special surprises that night as well that we don't want to give away. We don't want to give everything away. There's some really fun things that happen. We're going to walk you through. It's very interactive. Again, movies for foodies. I love that. Brought to you in high definition Taste-O-Vision. November 16th already sold out. So it's November 15th. Tickets available at brownpapertickets.com. There's all the information. The film begins at 7 o'clock. Again, the price includes 5 courses. You get the full-length original film, which is back from 1984. Games, specialty cocktails available for purchase. If you wait till the day of the event, it goes up to $85 per person. So that's the reason why you want to buy early. The doors will open for you again at 6:30, and it's going to be at Work and Leisure, which I've not seen that. That's in Locust?
It's on Locust, and it's in Midtown, and it is the cutest, charming, beautiful venue. It's very St. Louis, exposed brick, but very cozy at the same time. And there's this wonderful story that actually the St. Louis Zoo used that venue to unload animals at some point.
Oh, really?
It's a very interesting story. So check out workandleisure.com or give them a call because they have this amazing story of how they helped out the St. Louis Zoo.
So when you started Tenacious Eats, did you have an actual brick and mortar, or were you using different spaces?
I wanted to use different spaces. I also wanted to be flexible enough to do really fun things. We've done shows in LA, we've done shows in Chicago for other companies. And by not having a permanent brick and mortar, we can be ebb and flow and move wherever we're needed. Actually, I think we're kind of the original pop-up people.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it sounded like. And so if you started this back in 2012, this is long before everybody else started doing this. See, she's the leader.
I'm dating myself every time I say, well, I did that. Oh, wait, don't say how many years ago that was.
Okay, we'll erase that.
Yeah.
But all right, before we talk about Gremlins, do you have a particular film that you teamed up with your food that was really, really difficult?
Difficult. I'd say the hardest, one of the hardest menus I had to write was Royal Tenenbaums.
Okay, why?
There isn't food in the film. There really isn't any food. Brilliant characters, but not a whole lot of food references. So sometimes I'll have to write the menu based on a soundtrack, based on where it takes place. I really dive into sometimes, what they're wearing, the time period, right? Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
That was a hard one.
Yes.
But Royal Tenenbaums, I did it based on each character, the primary characters, the 3 kids and the 2 parents.
So take them through. We're looking at some pictures, and we've got some video we'll run in here also. Take them through how it all works for those that have never been before.
Well, we don't run off to a kitchen, first of all. So what you see there, we're cooking around you. Well, not, right next to you, but we are in the back of the theater so you can smell your food and hear it cooking before it actually comes to you. And you can see we
She's got
wear
the minor light on.
Yeah, we wear those very attractive headlamps. Yeah, those are so sexy. That's Chef Steve. That's my husband there, brilliant pastry chef. And we cook behind the scenes. We plate there in the room. So I encourage our guests to have fun, to make jokes, to, point out funny things in the movie that maybe none of us have noticed before. So it's kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show meets Mystery Theater 3000, Mystery Science Theater. Sorry, I can't even remember the titles this morning. But we want people to be interactive. It's not a sit down, be quiet. We're doing fine dining. Everything we do is beautiful food, but we call it fun dining. We want it to be approachable. We want it to be you can relate to the food. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make you eat something completely bizarre.
Yeah.
All the time. I might add something in there once in a while that I want people to broaden their horizons a little bit, but I also want to make sure that you're really living in the film in the moment. So I think
so they'll start the film, and then as the courses come, you pause, and then you start to talk about what you've made, and then they're eating as you start the movie back up again.
And sometimes actually every time it's very important that a certain course is in front of our guests before we start a scene. When we did Willy Wonka, the old Willy Wonka.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, that's the best.
When we did the old Willy Wonka, Chef Steve, my husband made teacups for the scene where they first go and they see the factory. And he did this white chocolate delicate teacup with a handle, and it was filled with a German chocolate mousse and a macerated Kirsch cherry that was dipped in chocolate.
Delish.
But we wanted our guests to be able to lift their cups and
simultaneous
bite into it.
Almost feel like you're within the film.
Exactly.
Yeah, take them there. If you're just tuning in again, Chef Liz Schuster, we're talking about Tenacious Eats, movies for foodies. All of that, brownpapertickets.com, again, is where you can get tickets. If you've never been to one, this is going to be a fun one for you to go to. The November 15th showing. November 16th is already sold out, but November 15th, again, it is at Work and Leisure, 3015 Locust in Midtown. We're going to give away a couple of tickets, so we'll think of something fun tied into Gremlins. I'm going to let you come up with a question for them.
Oh, I've got a lot. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then the first person with the correct answer will get a chance to go to this. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have more with Chef Liz when we come back.
Monica show. It's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
Doesn't that look peaceful? We want to thank Jennifer Warman Bloss. She's such a sweetheart. We had to reschedule her yesterday because I didn't have a voice. But I wanted you to hear about all the incredible things that they do at Elemental Aesthetics, which is what you're looking at here. You've heard about the wonderful facials that she's able to do. She's been an esthetician since 2001, but it's the top of the line lasers, peels, microdermabrasion, dermaplane, all the different things that they have for the skin. But they also have different treatments, like this particular room. This is the salt room where they pump in the salt, the mineral aspect of what that's able to do for you. And we're talking about the inside and the outside of the body. A lot of people have been looking into red light therapy. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about with Jennifer. You will see Jennifer on with me on Thursday morning. Not just red light, but also you can see how the light changed to blue and purple. They also do nails there, and they do IV hydration therapy as well as weight loss consultation. So maybe it is from a medical standpoint or non-medical. Elemental Aesthetics, located in Creve Coeur. They're on North New Ballas. Again, a great place for you, or maybe it's a gift certificate you want to buy for someone. Suite 206, 425 North New Ballas Road in Creve Coeur, and the phone number is 314-279-6069. Welcome back. Our guest, Chef Liz Schuster with Tenacious Eats. Look, we've got Gremlins on the set. Okay, it's not after midnight, though, so we think we should be okay.
I think we're okay. We're good. We're good. We got a little bit of time.
For those of you that never saw the film from 1984, it's just an iconic one. So when you pick these films, is it something that your followers say, hey, can you do this one? Or how do you pick your films?
You know, at Gremlins, we had so many people after we did the initial showing in 2012, I think it was, or 2013. We had so many people say, would you please show Gremlins again? I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of Facebook messages asking for certain movies. And when we were really doing these all the time, we would take a vote every month saying, okay, what do you really want to see? Because that's what I want to fulfill. And then we have people vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, again, this one's cute. The other ones you just saw on the screen, not so much. Those can give me nightmares. All right, let's run through. So the menu, you've got 5 courses. Well, actually, before we do this, you mentioned that you work with Scottish Arms, but what got you into actually the culinary side and wanting to take it to this level?
You know, I went to school at Columbia in Chicago. I have a degree in film direction from Columbia, but the whole time I was in school, I was cooking in restaurants. So that's always been how I pay my rent, you know, how I made my living. And there was something inside that said, I love this so much. But then this other part of me said, well, you've got to have a real job, right?
Dang, that's no fun.
Yeah. And I went down the road of the real job, and I was not happy at all. I got my MBA, and I was in a very corporate situation, and I love the company I worked for, but it wasn't fulfilling anything here.
Right. And that's a big part of the things that we talk about on the show is that if you're going along in life and it's just not fulfilling you, and you've got this burning passion inside of you, go fuel that passion. Go feed it.
And
feed it.
Feed it. Just not after midnight. I really feel like there's so much pressure, especially on young kids who are in college. My daughter is at Loyola University as a freshman, and I could see that pressure in her about, you're 18 years old, but you've got to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Immediately. And I said, but you can always pivot. Use that experience as a catalyst for whatever else you want to do. Right. You don't lose that education. That's always yours.
Right.
But I really, really love that immediate gratification of making someone happy. And food is such a great way to receive that.
It is. It's the one thing that we all can come together and appreciate together and, talk over it. You find so many memories, or you'll go back and go, oh, my favorite memories are, and it usually has to do with food. You know that.
Oh, always, because food is emotional.
Yeah.
Right? And the one thing that we remember is tied to emotions.
Yes,
our
absolutely.
memories are. Believe it or not, you'd be like, I saw this bus going by one time.
And reminded you of, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an emotion.
And smells, right? So Zach, our director, just walked in and he's like, oh my gosh, it smells great in here. And that's it. That will take you back to a time that you remember. All right, we're going to talk about what's on set here, but let's let's go through each one of the courses. So your first course is the fortified Chinese soup. Oh, there we go. There we've got it on. We've got it on the screen for you.
Mogwai have dragon breath. I'm just assuming, and I came up with this. I was rewatching the film. It's a 40th anniversary of this movie, by the way.
Holy cow! Yeah, 1984.
Yeah, and I was rewatching the film to write the menu. And I have 4 dogs, and I'm watching the first scene where the dad goes into Mr. Wing's shop, and the grandson is there, and there's all these cool things in the shop, and all I could think of was that this is a furry little cute creature. I have 4 cute creatures, and they all have horrible breath.
Yes,
so I thought, Mogwai have to have like dragon breath. The cuter, the worse the breath must be. So.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
And I have a Great Dane, Zelda, who is in my face. She's a Velcro dog. The whole time I'm like writing notes and she's going, I love you, Mom.
Stop kissing me. You just licked your butt.
I love you. So all I could think of was like, I wanted to do something that was very indicative of the culture and who the first characters are that you're introduced to. Mr. Wing, who I think is the only intelligent person in this film. It's a quadruple fortified stock. It's going to be a pork and chicken fortified stock with a spicy pork meatball, and then a little bit of fried wonton for some crunch on top. So I think that's going to fit the scene.
Love it. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Gremlins with Tenacious Eats. You're going to get a chance to see the film all over again, but the movie will stop. They will plate this up for you. They'll talk about what you're getting ready to eat, start the movie back up again, and then they'll stop, and then they'll get into the second course. So let's talk about your second course.
Second course is, I think, going to be even more fun. This is Mr. Wing's yuzu noodle. And again, I think Mr. Wing is the voice of reason in this film. This is something that Chef Steve, my husband, asked me to make quite a bit. It's one of his favorites. It's a pad thai rice noodle salad with a little bit of shredded cabbage, 3 different cabbages, by the way, fresh cucumber, fresh carrot, fresh ginger, fresh garlic, mirin, yuzu, which is a very astringent lemon.
Okay.
And so I didn't go too crazy on the lemon, but it's bright and it's colorful and it pops. And I thought it would be so much fun to serve this during that scene because we're going from a very spicy soup to start with the spicy meatballs. We need something to kind of cool it off.
Cool it down, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you also have drink courses that you have with us as well. Is it mocktails and cocktails if someone wants?
We have mocktails and cocktails, and Raven and Jordan, who run and operate Work and Leisure. Raven worked with us with Tenacious Eats prior to Work and Leisure.
Okay.
She is a brilliant mixologist. She's creating her own pop-ups now, but her drinks are phenomenal, and there's nothing mock about her NA cocktails. She makes her own simple syrups. She does everything. She makes her own shrubs. So you're not getting just something out of a bottle. She's making amazing NA cocktails. So I'm very excited. And I think she has a whole menu that we've posted with some quirky and fun cocktails that will be available for sale. When you first get there, you'll get a free wagon wheel cocktail, like a little one, and you're going to we have
green popcorn.
It's a chili crisp and garlic popcorn with wasabi peas.
Look. Doesn't the set look
Yeah,
great today? Can we take this one off?
You might need a little water after the chili crisp. It's not too spicy. It's just a real wow. Wow flavor.
Don't throw water on him though.
No,
and don't
no.
feed him after midnight. But we're going to feed your bellies. Again, we're talking about Gremlins with Tenacious Eats. If you just tuned in, I know a lot of you tune in like every second. 1984 flick. This is going to be running time, 106 minutes. Again, the menu by Elizabeth Schuster, as well as her husband, who's going to be doing the yummy desserts. So we talked about the first 2 courses. The third one makes me laugh. Where the hell was PETA? In fact, I'm saying that right now. We're all saying it right now with this whole thing with Peanut the squirrel in the news. Where the hell is PETA right now is what we're all asking. Have you seen the story?
I have.
It's
That's
so frustrating.
sad.
We had him on the show back in January, and then all of a sudden this came out back Wednesday or Thursday of last week, and it's gone. The good thing is, I hate that he lost his animal, but the good thing is maybe in his memory that they'll be able to continue this farm and maybe even rescue more and more and more animals, because he was afraid that now with the squirrel gone that he wasn't going to be able to continue because people donate when they watch the fun videos. But I don't know. Now there's so much attention and so many people are so ticked off at this.
That was a pet.
Yes.
I think.
Oh, it absolutely was.
Yeah.
Somebody had a vendetta against them, and I mean, who knows? This one has legs. This one's not done. But yeah, crazy. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, where the hell is PETA?
Well, these are cute little fuzzy creatures. And the Mogwai Gizmo goes through so much. And even the other Mogwai that are created, the little fur balls that pop out of him when he gets hit with water. Oh, he's so
He's
sweet.
so cute.
Yeah.
I almost named a dog Gizmo.
Oh, I mean, you've got to protect animals, and so who leaves this?
Does he talk?
Yes, he does. I think if you hit it again, he actually says something like, I think he says,
"Oh." Hi, cutie. Oh my gosh, didn't I take you back?
So can you imagine someone giving an amazing animal that can sing and talk to a random teenager?
Yeah, right.
And then you've got Corey Feldman, who's really young, is in this film.
Yes.
And they're just putting him on a desk, you hit him with water, he multiplies, and then they give one to their school teacher who does experiments on this animal. And I'm thinking, where was PETA?
Where was PETA? Where the hell was PETA? And that's your third course, by the way. So what's in this one?
Okay.
Ooh, drummies.
So do you remember the scene where he feeds the other Mogwai?
Yep.
Feeds them after midnight. Yep. And they're in this box.
Yes.
Again, where was PETA?
Yes.
They throw them in this cardboard box and they're all squished together. And then he throws them some chicken drummies. And,
yeah.
And their little teeth.
Yes.
Oh, that was really disgusting. And you could see the lines of saliva. And they're... So I thought, okay, we have to have chicken drummies.
Yeah.
But we can't just do normal drummies. So I did a panko encrusted chicken drummy with a miso maple sauce.
Oh, wow.
Miso is an umami flavor with maple syrup and a little bit of garlic, a little bit of spice, and it's just delightful. I think the other fun thing about it is the maple syrup we're using is a Missouri maple
just saw
syrup.
that Missouri maple bourbon sauce.
Yes,
I love when people work together and just continue to support those in our area.
If it's seasonal, I'm going to buy it locally.
Yeah.
If I want to go to we did a show this summer. I can't make an amazing bagel like Bagel Union can, so I use their bagels.
Sure.
So I like to work in a collaborative way. If somebody does it way better than I do, I'm going to go to the specialist. So yeah, that's going to be a really fun course with, I think we're doing 3 drummies for that course, but the presentation, I don't want to give anything away.
No,
there.
that's the thing. That's why you got to go. So tickets available. We're going to get into the 4th course. And when we do the 4th course, we're going to do a giveaway. So you get 2 tickets to go to the November 15th showing of Gremlins, again at Work and Leisure. We're dropping all the information in for you in the comments that you need to know. I would love for you to win these tickets. So I want you to think of, we're going to take a quick break. I want you to think of a question. And the first person with the correct answer, we're going to give you 2 tickets to be able to go and see this. And we're going to talk about this particular course. This is the 5th course. This is Little Green Cannonball. Can we make it ooze? Yes.
Oh, yes.
We're going to do that when we return. Don't go anywhere.
One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you will love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Space. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline. Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go!
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Everyone needs to be kind. And it
Yes.
starts really with the adults. And then it goes down because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location, and this is the really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know I'm always on the move.
Welcome back. All right, we are plating it up. Look, we're going to get really close to this because we're going to get oozy.
I got too much ooze in this.
I got too much ooze. We haven't said that on the show before. I got too much ooze. If you're just tuning in, my friend Liz Schuster, Chef Liz Schuster with Tenacious Eats is in with us. We're having some fun. And yes, you can see a little gizmo on set today. We're talking about Gremlins, the film from 1984. I want to know how many of you either watching live right now or when you watch later and you can do hashtag replay. Tell me if you never saw the movie. I don't know how many times. I've seen this movie so many times because it was one of my favorites. I was... 13 when this movie first came out. So it was a little scary. It was cute and then a little scary. He went back and forth.
Okay, I was exactly your age when this came out, and it was terrifying.
Yeah. It was cute first, and I wanted him.
I did too.
And then I was like, no, I don't. Look what happens to them.
I kind of like the Gremlins, though. They were kind of fun.
They were funny.
Yeah.
And then they were gross.
And then they were disgusting.
Exactly.
Then they were just like the boys that were our age then.
Look
right?
at 'em.
Yeah, that's just like all the boys we were in
you're
middle
right.
school with.
It is.
Yeah.
That sophomore humor that they had, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Snot and ew.
For all of you that have young boys, that's how they act, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about Gremlins. Okay, we're going to ask a question while we talk about this particular course. And the first person with the correct answer, we're going to give you 2 tickets for you to go to the November 15th showing of Gremlins with this amazing 5 courses that you get at Work and Leisure, again, on Locust. So if you don't win, buy your tickets. You will be talking about this for a long, long time. I still talk about, again, the experiences that I had from years ago with Dirty Dancing and Chocolat. Chocolat was so much fun. I still have a picture of, you had us do like a kissing booth when we first walked in. Chocolate kisses. It was fun. Okay, so what's the question?
Okay, so we were talking about the crabby old lady.
Yeah. So Michelle just said, oh, dang, I want to go and eat. I love that movie, especially the old nasty woman getting launched out of her stair climber chair. And she's like, well, how ironic. That's actually my question.
Yes. So she's in the beginning, too, in the bank, where she's giving Billy a really hard time, and she's going to take away his dog.
Yeah.
Who kind of looks like a gremlin himself. He's got the spiked hair. Okay, so my question is, what other show was that actress in and very famous for? And I mean, if we want to say even the name of the character that she played.
No, let's not say.
No,
not yet. Not yet. I think you'll be able to get it. Okay, so what other show?
It was a sitcom.
Was she in back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
First person with the correct answer, we're going to give you 2 tickets for you to go this Friday night, November 15th, to see Gremlins and have this amazing food from Chef Liz. And we're going to talk about this next course while we give you, Michelle says she's Michelle, I'll let you win, even though you're a part of my team. If you know the answer, you or whoever else gets it first, go ahead and drop it in. And she wants to go anyway. So if you've never been, again, I don't care who answers first. We're going to give you the tickets. Okay, so these little green cannonballs.
Those are Scotch eggs.
They're huge, Liz.
Well, they're not as big as the gremlin eggs, which are like this big. Massive. So this was based on the scene where poor Billy's mother, That woman was a saint,
Yes, she
right?
was.
She's got
Yes,
the
she was.
husband messing up her kitchen with all these weird gadgets. Everything's always breaking and blowing up on her. She walks up into Billy's room, and all of these green cannonball pods, and they're opening up, and green slime and ooze. So my brain immediately went to Scotch egg because it's my favorite. I love Scotch eggs. And also I was thinking about the Scottish Arms.
Oh, yes.
And they just closed their doors after many, many years of service. And Allie gave me my first chance to do this.
Right.
So this is my message to Allie.
Homage,
I love
to
you so
Scottish.
much, brother. Thank you. So this is a Scotch egg, which is, if you've never had a Scotch egg, I make a 60-degree egg. It's a farm fresh Missouri egg wrapped in a house-made pork sausage. And then it's rolled in flour and egg and panko and fried.
Okay.
Then it's split and cut it and cooked again, just to make sure it's all done. And then over the top, the green slime.
Yes, what is that?
That is actually an house-made orange marmalade with a little bit of Dijon mustard, and then the green is spirulina. It's actually a natural color made from algae.
So which is very good for us.
Yeah.
And this is why people eat seaweed.
Yeah, so this menus are actually pretty healthy.
That a girl.
Should I say that out loud? Yeah. Should I say? I don't know. Sometimes it
Some of
deters
it's mixed
people.
in.
It's tasty.
It's balance.
Yes.
It's balanced.
Yes.
And then, what is this that it's served with?
This is actually the noodle dish. That's
course
Mr.
two?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Mr. Wing's rice noodle.
Okay.
And we're gonna have. Well, I don't want to give too much away. I always
Because
do
there's-
that.
Yes, this is, you've got to get there. Okay, all right, hang on. Kathleen, I just saw you on Saturday night. Congratulations. She said Ellis. Yes. And
Bingo.
the famous thing that she used to say, it was Flo, by the way.
Kiss my grits. I don't think she was actually talking about grits, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No. Grits. Kathleen, congratulations. You're heading off on Friday night. You're going to have such a blast. We can't wait. We'll get all the information to Julie, so she'll have tickets waiting for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so the final course is where we bring your husband in.
And he gets all of the accolades. He gets all of the love because he says his dessert course has to stand up to my 4. And he's right.
Well, this is true.
He knocks it out of the park every time.
And this is the same one. If somebody saw Gremlins with you in the past, it's the same dessert course because people said, you can't change that one. You got to have it.
It is so amazing. And also on a very selfish level, I know I'll get to eat some. So I want it again bad.
It's for her.
It's
Let's
for
be real.
me. They're tiny little dark chocolate cakes. It's like a little dome covered in a even darker chocolate ganache. And the inside is filled with a lime and tart apple caramel. And it's green. So when you cut into it, it oozes.
Again.
But I can't express to you how delicious the dark chocolate and this tart apple with a little bit of lime. It's almost like a curd, but it's
hungry.
a caramel. I know. Body by desserts. Thank you, Steve. So that's the only reason why I work out is so I can eat more.
So you can eat more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Refuel. Do it again.
I need to work out even more. But this dessert it's such a wow factor when you cut into it. And
then it oozes out?
But it's so delicious that those two components together are two of my favorites.
It sounds incredible.
Yeah, I'm so excited to eat it.
She's like, I can't wait for this weekend to get here.
Yeah.
Again, it's this weekend, November 15th, 16th, again, already sold out in 4 days, but there are tickets still available. I was talking with Julie, though, yesterday, still limited number of tickets. So how many people can you have there that night?
We're stopping at 80 per show.
Okay.
In the past, right before COVID, we were doing 350.
Wow.
A show.
Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to remember what room we were at when you did Dirty Dancing. It was huge.
That was at Leona. That was the Marine Corps League.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
So was that about 300? Because there were a lot of people there.
That was about 120.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think Yeah, I think it was around 100 something, 120 maybe.
There were a lot of people. Again, it's so much fun. It's unlike anything that you've ever experienced before. So if you've gone out and you've had multiple courses, great. It's usually like a wine dinner or something. You don't have the aspect of the movie mixed into it. So it's a really cool experience. And this one's so much fun. Taking you back to your youth, or maybe it's the first introduction for those of you. I love that. For those that come that have never seen it before, getting a chance to watch your face as you watch this cute thing turn into that crazy thing and the oozing that happens.
And I think a lot of people will be like, what was the rating for this film? Wait, you took children to this? That's what's wrong with Gen X. All of our kid movies are so dark.
Hey, we watched that and we threw jarts at each other. Yes. And we didn't have seatbelts. But we're still here to talk about it, right? We're still here. All right. Again, Hannah, thank you so much for dropping in all the information that you need to be able to purchase the tickets through Brown Paper Tickets. You can find out more. You can follow Liz as well online at Tenacious_Eats. And then there's the website, again, for Gremlins to find out more information. But buying those tickets, brownpapertickets.com. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some eating. My staff already said it smells amazing in here. What's your favorite course besides the dessert?
I might say the pad thai, the yuzu rice noodle. It's
I
something
would
I
be
eat all
going
the
right
time.
after that.
Yeah, I don't feel guilty about it.
No,
Not like the dessert.
But before we wrap up, do you have other films in the future that you can drop in for us?
We actually have. It's not a film, but we're doing a New Year's Eve party with Work and Leisure.
Oh yeah,
and it's part of their Avalanche pop-up, which is amazing because it's just, you feel like you're in a ski lodge.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and snow and candles, and it's cozy and amazing cocktails, specialty cocktails, amazing food. But we're doing the New Year's Eve party for it, and it's a pajama party.
Really?
And all of the food we're doing is brunch themed, like late night fun brunch, but really elevated. This isn't a normal brunch, but we're going to have past appetizers the whole night. We're going to have food stations. We're going to have a Belgian waffle station with all kinds of amazing toppings. We're going to have omelets. We're going to have a prime rib slider. We even have, I take care of everybody. So there's going to be a lot of vegan and vegetarian options and some gluten-free options.
Love
So
it.
you don't
So
want,
everybody feels like they can come to it. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody will be able to really be stuffed. So if you're going to wear your pajamas, which I think is wonderful.
I do too.
Yeah, I have some fancy pajamas I like to wear, be comfortable, enjoy yourselves. And then there's the Art Hotel, which is really close to Work and Leisure. So you could jettison there for the evening.
Sure.
And then after that, in February, we have a top secret event coming up. So stay tuned.
Is this around Valentine's Day?
Around Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So save the date that weekend and watch Work and Leisure, STL.com for updates. We're working very hard on something that's very new to St. Louis. March, we're doing... Well, I'm so excited to say this. We're going to do The Office.
Oh, really?
It's their anniversary, their 20th anniversary of the television show. So we're going to have 10 rounds of trivia, but it's not going to be a normal trivia night. It's going to be a Tenacious trivia. So we're going to...
Which is a whole nother level, folks, because you haven't experienced this yet.
And we're going to have our guests vote on what their favorite episode, all-time episode of The Office is. So whatever episode wins will be shown that night. We're going to have tons of prizes to give away. We're going to have a Dwight Schrute lookalike contest, Michael's random vending machine treats, and then we're going to do a box lunch, like a corporate box lunch, but it'll be a dinner provided by myself. So I think it's going to be so much fun. I am definitely open to any movie ideas, films that we have done, haven't done.
Yeah.
Please give us a shout out at Facebook or Instagram, Tenacious Eats. Let me know what you want to see.
Have you done Eat, Pray, Love?
Yes. And I this was back when we were smaller. I acted out the scene. I couldn't help myself, Monica. The scene where she falls and, she's looking at her bowl of pasta.
Yep.
And she just really, Yeah, this is what happens when you
This
let
is
a
why it's
chef out of the
interactive.
kitchen. Yeah.
I do love that though, and I love the fact that you're wearing the lights because obviously, you're in the dark, you're watching the movie, they're back there cooking, and then they'll flip the lights on and plate your courses out, and then you go back to the movie again. But I love what you wear. I think it's awesome. It's like, look at them back there, like rock stars.
Well, we don't want to interrupt the film experience, right? Because we're paying to license these movies.
Yes.
We don't want to interrupt the movies
Right.
too much. So we wear our headlamps, and gosh darn it, are they sexy, to wear. I always have the big red rim on my forehead.
Afterwards?
Yeah, the compression from the...
All right, so much fun. Again, please follow them online for all the information about Gremlins, what's coming up for New Year's Eve, February, March. So much fun. I'm so glad you're back. It's just truly, it was always one of my favorite memories. I've told people about it for years, and then people got and bought tickets and said, oh my gosh, you were right. And I said, I know, it's an incredible experience. Okay, so I'm laughing. We always end our shows with a devotional. I'm going to have to do it because we're talking about eating. So we're going to do the overeating one, which a lot of you might feel like you need a little help from. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 100 days to freedom from overeating, and I'll let my staff start their overeating with all of this. Chef Liz, thank you so much.
Thanks
I'm
for
so
having
excited
me.
that you're back. Tenacious Eats, Gremlins. Again, congratulations to Kathleen Morris. She's got 2 tickets to be able to go see it, but tickets still available for you if you're not doing anything Friday night. Get your tickets. Trust me, your family, your friends, bring them along. Again, don't miss out on this one. If you do, the New Year's Eve one sounds fun. We've all gotten dressed up and fancy. Let's just get in our pajamas and nosh on some brunch.
And wear stretchy
Expandable.
pants. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we'll wrap up the show with 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating when we return. Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best ball.
Oh, wait. Well, we talk about balance, right? We talk about having fun and having these nights, but a lot of you sometimes have shame and you're like, oh, I overeat. You don't want to do it on a daily basis. That's where personal trainers, life coaches is where we come into play and say, all right, let's figure out why there's that gluttony attitude of doing it day in and day in and day out. We don't want that. We do want you to have fun, though. Enjoy these nights and experiences, right? The memories. A gratitude mindset. We talk about intention and gratitude, right? My big bookends of your day. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. This is from James 1, verse 17. We all know life's hard. There are so many opportunities every day to get discouraged. It can be easy to get stuck focusing on the negative. In a world where the news constantly presents stressful information, it can be difficult to focus on the positive. In order to keep a mindset of hope, it's important to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Instead of looking for what you do not like in a situation, or instead of focusing on what is not going the way you think it should, look for opportunities to see the good. Incorporating gratitude into your daily life will help bring about a habit and a mindset of being thankful for what the Lord has given you. In both the good times and in the bad times, it's important to find things that you can be thankful for. In fact, Caroline Leaf said, research on the effects gratitude has on our biology shows how being thankful increases our longevity, our ability to use our imagination, and our ability to problem solve. It also improves our overall health. Elizabeth Elliot said, God has promised to supply all our needs. What we don't have now, we don't need now. That's a good thing for you to think about. It is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. So we leave you with today's prayer. Dear Father, thank you so much for the incredible ways you've provided for me. I'm so humbled by the way you love me and have always taken care of me, even when I had no idea you were around. Instead of seeing the negative, please help my mind and heart form an attitude of gratitude. Amen. I love that one. Again, don't beat yourself up. And don't continue the path, though. So if it's not serving you, I always say that. If it doesn't serve you, then why continue to do it over and over and over again? But I want you to have fun, like this, right? Go and enjoy that. Chef Liz Schuster has been my guest. We appreciate you so much. Remember, get out, vote, and stop the negativity in the world. You're going to have to just be okay with whatever happens on whatever side of the aisle. Just find some kindness. As long as you did what you needed to do, which is exercise your right to vote, if it doesn't go your way, that means everybody else went out and voted, and then we're just going to have to hope that our country is taken care of over the next 4 years. All right? Just do your part, and then zip it. All right, everyone, have a wonderful one. We will, of course, be talking about election tomorrow. We'll break things down for you. Doubt that we will know the leader of our country. I would say maybe even for days, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. And then on Thursday, Jennifer Warman-Bloss will be our guest as we talk about all the incredible things that they do at Elemental Aesthetics, including that bed I've been mentioning, the vibration and the music, the sound, and how it's helping people with ADD and ADHD. Pretty fascinating. That salt room and so many other levels. So Jennifer will be with us coming up on Thursday morning. And then I'm off to Italy, but I will be checking in from Milan and from the Piedmont area. Can't wait to show you some of the incredible experiences that we have while we are in Italy. All of that coming up for you on The Real Monica Adams Show. Remember what I tell you. Maybe you want to dream to be a chef or a broadcaster. Dream it big. Whatever you do in life, remember to do the one great thing that you can do, and that is to be kind. God bless you.